New York State has brought in over $1.5 billion over the years after the Attorney General has settled lawsuits with opioid manufacturers. Now, those funds have been used to combat the epidemic impacting our community and others across the state.
Now, a settlement fund advisory board has been set up to make recommendations about how to spend some of that money. 2 on Your Side's Nate Benson joins us in the Information Center tonight with some growing concerns, Nate, over how that process is moving.
Yeah, Mary Allison Scott, many of us are familiar with the story of Avi Israel. His son Michael died as a result of an opiate addiction 11 years ago. And soon after that, he founded the group called Save the Michaels of the World. Avi was appointed to the newly formed Opioid Settlement Fund Advisory Board, which helps oversee how settlement money will be used. And at today's board meeting, his frustration boiled over.
Would strongly urge all the agencies who represent New York State, get your act together. Get in here, because your games are causing lives.
Avi Israel says the Opioid Settlement Fund Advisory Board was supposed to convene last November, but it didn't meet until a little more than a month ago on June 14th. Commissioners from various state agencies have not appeared before the committee, some sick, others on vacation, and their deputies were even MIA.
So that's right off the bat is not an honest, and it's not transparent.
Israel says board members thought they would discuss how to use a $200 million settlement announced by the AG this past December. Instead, out of the 17 hours that the board has met, only about 5 hours has been dedicated to discussing recommendations about how to use the money. A document obtained by 2 on Your Side shows the advisory board is only working with about $45 million. The rest set aside to be used by various agencies, but none of it dispersed yet.
Every day that we delay, there's anywhere between 14 to 20 people who die in New York State. It's sad because nobody seems to care. There's no urgency on the part of the government.
The document shows $55 million has been set aside for local municipalities to fight the opioid crisis, with another $75 million going to the Office of Addiction Services and Supports, also known as OASIS, and $8.5 million earmarked for the State Department of Health. Descriptions of these allocations indicate they're aimed at fighting the epidemic, but there aren't any line item specifics. Confusion over who is doing what has Israel beyond frustrated with Albany politics.
I would really love for this governor to get involved, because I tell you what, what's happening now is nobody cares. And we keep coming to Albany and not getting very much done.
I did receive a statement from Governor Hochul's office saying in part that she lost a loved one to addiction and she is personally and deeply dedicated to helping those who have been impacted. OASIS also sent me a statement confirming that no money has been dispersed yet. The board is supposed to submit a full report to the legislature by November 1st, but Israel says it's unlikely they will meet that deadline. We will, of course, continue to follow the process. In the Information Center, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.